Hey, good morning. It's Mike Zschunke, Berkshire Hathaway Homes and Shifton Properties in Scottsdale, Arizona. Friday morning market chat with Mike. That's me. And talk about residential, the commercial, and the economy. It's been a busy week, really busy. Let's see, inventories just up about 70 single-family detached homes in the multiple listing service. Maricopa County up about 75. Scottsdale, we lost 12 single-family detached homes. So again, we still have this inventory issue. It's going to take some time to work through. People aren't real anxious about moving, getting out of their 3% mortgages, but people are here. And people are looking, especially going into this season. People are looking to buy. So inventory's coming back slow. It's pretty stable right now. I read a report by Adam Data Services that November is the best time to buy. Yes, sellers are tired. There's something called a fourth quarter buyer's advantage. Sellers are tired. There's less competition out there heading into the holidays. People really don't want to make a move. So the sellers are... So buyers have what they call, it's kind of an unspoken buyer's advantage in November. I think they did a study. It was 52 million home sales over the past 11 years. And there was the smallest premium buyers paid over their automated valuation, however they figure that out. But that's for closings December 4th, so 30 days to close. Shoppers in November are technically getting the best deal. So, like I said, that's the end of the season, going into year end. Now's the time to do it. 30, 40 days to close. We are there. It's November 15th. So, average days on market sits about 35 days to contract. If you're just listing your property, add 2 weeks because of the holiday. We have Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, and people are a little bit slower to get things done. Getting people in the office around Thanksgiving, getting a hold of people is tough. I don't really know why, because everybody's phone is in their pocket, but it is. And I was asked the other day, how do you get these sellers, the homes that are still on the market? It's price. If they've been on a while, if your home hasn't sold in 30, 40, 60 days, it's price. But a lot of sellers are staying firm because they think, well, my neighbor got this price. Their neighbor has may have a different house, different buyer, different timing. But how do you get those people to look at your offers? And that really goes down to experience. Working, we've worked with a lot of agents in the area, all over the valley, and you kind of know how agents work. The biggest thing is to pose an interest. Get in the property. You can tell, when somebody opens that lockbox and looks at your listing. So pose an interest and put it on paper. Residential is not like commercial. Commercial, everything's pretty much discussed ahead of time. And then we write up a letter of intent or a letter of interest and kind of we negotiate back and forth. Residential, put it on paper, make the offer, and get the conversation started. I always say, you have 10 days on the residential side, 10-day inspection period. And that's when it's my job to find a reason for my buyers not to buy that property. Mainly protect myself, but to protect my clients as well. But and I want to know a little secret, kind of disturbing secret, but there's always a sex offender within a half mile. I don't know why, but I've used that before to get out of deals. So the biggest thing is get the property you're interested under contract. And if you find something, put it on paper. Let's write it up and make an offer. You never know. In Arizona, the listing agent, there's a lot of verbal discussions that go on, but until it's on paper, if your offer is on paper, the listing agent is required to present it to the sellers. So put it on paper and put it in front of them, and let's have a conversation. It doesn't matter where we start. It's, and then just stay firm at your number. That's how you get deals on properties these days. Especially, everybody looks at their Zillow number. Be careful of Zillow. I'm seeing more and more fraudulent listings on Zillow, especially with land. They were talking the other day about having Zillow be the national multiple listing service now, and they've got some work to do. They've got great data sheets and history, but their active listings is a little sloppy. I get people send me old Zillow listings that they want to see, and the property closed 3 or 6 months ago. So, use your agent. everybody thinks it's easy, and they watch HGTV and Redfins, and they think they can find it. There's a lot of things that are happening off market right now. We've got 4 or 5 properties now off market. Down in Levine, 400,000 or 500,000. By TPC Golf Course, if you're looking, 800,000. We've got the property out in Tonopah, 40 acres. We got 250 land acres coming up south of South Mountain, down by Casa Grande a little bit. That'll be a fun one to work on. And out on Sonora Parkway, 900,000. So a lot of things are happening off market. So what you see in the statistics, that's all beyond. We want to look forward and get you where you need to be. Anyway, commercial, what's going on? Single family permits are pretty stagnant. Builders had bought up a lot of land inventory. They're trying to work through that process. Builder may offer you a 4 or 5% rate. There is a cost. Don't think that's free. Builders are not in the business of losing money. There's on 1%, on a 5%, if mortgages are 7% and they're offering you a 6% mortgage, there's $10,000 built into the deal somewhere. And that's where the experience comes in. They're not giving away money for you to buy their properties. But you can always buy down the rate and make that more affordable. Most important thing in commercial right now, Prop 479 voted to extend the Arizona highway tax. It's like a half-a-cent tax. It's been around for like 20 years and it expired, but that was voted to extend. So now the city of Phoenix knows that they have the funding to increase the infrastructure, mainly on the northwest Phoenix and southwest Phoenix and out by Buckeye. So watch where the highway planning is going, that US 11, Mexico to Canada. That, I said years ago, that's going to be some hot warehouse space. I'm driving to California last week. It's all solar farms and warehouse space. So they're filling that in. Northwest corner out by Peoria. You know, they've got an airport they're talking about. We spoke to somebody on the airport commission last week. That's going to go through. Some of the residents aren't happy about it, but there's a Texas developer. He finally broke ground on 6,300 acres. They're going to put over 5,000 single-family homes up in the northwest out by Peoria. So this spread is just happening, and that's, you know, kind of, if you're looking for an investment property, look around the valley on the outside, and that sprawl's just going to go. Commercial and residential. What do we got? Some warehouses. Phoenix, still the #1 industrial market in the nation. They're building $500 million square foot houses because that's what makes money for the developers with all the big corporations come here. We need 5,000 to 10,000 square foot light industrial properties for the small, and that's the clients I work with. They're coming from California, the small business owner, the manufacturer. They need 10,000 square feet for their building, the car builder, and they need a house. So that's where I work, and we take care and get them, help their relocation a little bit better. Tina Tambor, I said in a Cronford report the other day, and she was pointing out the growth along 303, and that's just moving right into the hills, out into the white tanks there. So that's interesting. Spoke to somebody yesterday, had a property out in Gold Canyon that they made some money on. That's beautiful out there by the Superstitions. It's just, for me, it's too far from my daughters. So I'd like to be on the west side. But anyway, that's irrelevant. Axon Taser Company, you probably know them as. They're really a data company. They store body data for police cameras. They got unanimous city approval to put their new headquarters at 101 in Hayden. So that 101 north section, there's a piece of property up there. I think it's $5 or $6 million for like 8 or 10 acres. I think that's a great deal because that North 101 loop, that's got the hospitals. They're all fighting each other to get in there. We stopped by a broker open over at Atavia. It's Belgravia Builders, developers. They're out of Chicago. They're putting a nice product up 101. They're doing 88 townhomes starting at $1 million. I'm tempted to jump on one of those myself because there's state land right across the street where they were going to put that hockey arena and all that baloney. But something's going to go there eventually. And those condos in that Belgravia, that I think it's called Atavia, they're going to be very attractive. You can't rent them out for a year, but I think that's a good buy. They're starting $1 million. Let us know. We'll be happy to set up that interview or that interview with you. Sit down and let you know how that's going. But anyway, Exxon got approval for 2,000 apartments. And you know what's interesting? They've applied. This is the third go at it. They kept having to revise their zoning. And they came down to it. They decreased the number of apartments, decreased the height a little bit. There's 3,500 units going across the street. So that Scottsdale, Hayden 101, that's going to be a pretty dense. They're going to really build the density in there. But where I was going was Exxon. You know, negotiating, it's give and take. And Exxon is not asking for any public funding. A lot of people aren't happy about it because that's going to be a lot of traffic right around the Scottsdale airport there, which is booming. I wish whoever purchased Scottsdale Airport is a gold mine. It's a great asset for the city to have. But that area now with Exxon, it was give and take in the negotiation, and they finally came to an agreement. And the city council said, "Okay, you can go ahead, do your live, work, play, have your headquarters and 2,000 units there." So that'll be neat to watch that development going. Small multifamilies starting to turn over now. The mom and pops are tired. The private money is jumping all over it. So if you've got 5, 10 unit multifamilies, we've got a buyer for sure. 100%. Those are starting to turn over. There's money out there. Overall, commercial lending has tightened up a little bit, but the lending is at pre-pandemic levels. You really have to have your financials in order. Same thing with, go back to residential. Before you start making offers and things, get your financials in order. Make sure you want to show the seller that you're going to close that deal. And that's my job, is to sell you on the seller, and that my client's going to get to the closing table. And you know, why else would they take if we make an offer, they're going to take their property off the market going into a hot season. So it's not always about the rate. Mortgage rates now, 30-year fixed rate on residential is about 7%, bouncing around there. And I think we're going to be there for a while. People, you can make a case for rates coming down. You can make a case for rates going up. It's really, people who have said they were coming down quickly are getting pretty quiet. And that leads me to Jerome Powell spoke yesterday. We had a pretty busy statistics week in the economic indicators. CPI and PPI came out this week, and both were they were a little bit hot. Shows that I wish that the media would say that inflation is instead of saying inflation is coming down, I wish they would say the rate of inflation is slowing. Because as Rick Santelli pointed out, CPI, Consumer Price Index, it's still an index, and it's still increasing at 2.8% or 2 whatever it was. It's still at all-time high. So you have those indexes. Prices are still high. Housing makes up 40% of that. Housing prices, it's expensive, but things are turning over. People have money, so it's things are happening. Again, on the economy, Nelson Peltz spoke. He's actually the chairman of Wendy's, but he's a big hedge fund guy, an old guy, 82 or 92 years old, smart guy. And he says he thinks that, he sees things moving. It really comes down to getting the government spending under control. As I always say, nobody can estimate where the market's going. The 10-year yield has a lot of resistance at 4.5%, where it is right now. Logan Matsushami will tell you it's all, watch the labor market. And until labor starts to fall a little bit, it's kind of where we are. But Jerome Powell said they're in no hurry to cut rates. And that's what I've said all along. It's kind of the new normal. Remember, one man's debt is another man's asset. So it's really perspective. Are you on the lending side or are you on the borrowing side? And we really need the 10-year to be around 4.5% to let this economy go. You need to be paid, as an investor, you need to be paid for your risk. So anyway, that's all noise. It comes down to, we'll sit down with our clients. Where do you want to be? What's good for you? What does your portfolio look like? Residential, commercial? And, how can we help you get to where you need to be? Real estate's long-term. It's not overnight. Flipping's got kind of quiet. I know, because my phone's ringing off the hook to find investment properties for flippers. And its margins have gotten pretty slim. So Anyway, it's my job to take emotion out of the deal, look at the numbers, get you where you need to be, find a solution, facilitate, educate, and advise. That's what we do. Give us a call, and it doesn't matter if you're a $300,000 condo or a $300,000 house or a $5 million, $10 million commercial property. We look at everything. We concentrate on relationships, and that's why we do what we do. We like working with people, and I heard somebody say the other day, it's not past clients, it's lifetime clients. And we're going out to dinner tonight with some previous. I said previous clients, but they've become friends. A lot of our gold clients have become friends. We don't have to be friends. But anyway, busy day ahead. A lot of paperwork. Getting a little long here. So thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Let us know what you want to see next week. Have a great day. Be smart. Be safe. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.